the Wednesday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, 8 races to take a look at. The sun should be shining. Should be a very good day of racing.
Handy little card we've got here, Adam. Very tough quaddie legs, but it should be a good betting card.
Let's take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with. The Mooble run is out 12 metres. Some easterly breezes, so expecting it to suit the leaders for today. And as I said, the sun will be shining as well. Let's get straight into race number 1. It is the Sweps Plate over the 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. A handy little field, and we see a horse return that was well supported on debut, but everything that could go wrong did go wrong for High Conviction.
And as you mentioned, leaders, Adam, should suit this filly by Snitzel very well. We'll have a look at the replay, though, of Orange Strudel behind Undisclosed last start.
Cosmic Ballet getting a run through. The Superfine comes to the middle and he calls upon Daraja Jewel. Dawn Mission heads the remainder but running on, and further back is Orange Strudel. It's Undisclosed inside the 200, booting away on the inside. Cosmic Ballet followed by Daraja Jewel, and then Orange Strudel. Undisclosed has rolled right back to the fence, but will have too many guns for them first up.
Pretty good performance there by Orange Strudel. It won the trial, but it was in slow time. But I think Undisclosed is going to be a pretty handy horse and to be within 3 lengths. I think that's a positive sign. I think this filly by Alfred Nobel will improve for that performance as well. But for mine, this race is all about one horse and one horse only, and I think it'll be opening pretty short, and that is High Conviction, which we spoke about.
Just want to go back and touch on Orange Strudel's run behind Undisclosed. I thought it was a pretty good run coming from last. We don't usually see 2-year-olds make up too much ground, and you know the smart ones or even semi-smart ones are the ones that can. And this filly by Alfred Nobel did. As you mentioned, High Conviction as well. We saw what a debacle. I don't want to go too overboard, but it could have potentially run top 5 in the Karrakatta Plate. It was going that well. It was very short the day that it got beat by Saul Special. Poor Jason Brown rather lost his irons, and it was the end of the story after 100 metres.
Yeah, as I said, everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and as you mentioned, this was one of the more fancied gallopers from the Miller stable going through. He had about 10 of them, so it's hard to rate them through. But barrier 4, 55 kilos, Paul Harvey to ride. We saw these colours salute last week in style as well. The recent trial winning by 2 lengths to show that this horse is back, and for mine, this is the one to beat. I think we can just leave it at that. I'm going to tip number 6, High Conviction on top. From 7, Mad Mel. Number 2, Rago d'Oro. And also number 1, Creek No Paddle.
Straight to the point, Adam. Love it. Number 6 for me as well, High Conviction. From 5, Orange Strudel. 2, Ragazzo d'Oro. And 3, South Zeal.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It's over the 1,000 metres, and for only 8 horses in the field, this is a very even contest.
Competitive affair, Adam. We'll have a look at the replay straight away, though. Number 8, Prime Witness, winning its maiden at Northam last start.
Baconator inside the 400, and this favourite's going in second gear on the outside, given a little shake up now by Brown. On the outside, Prime Witness quickly heads off Miss Diamonds, and 2 lengths behind them. Further back is Blazing Asset, followed then by Jacinta Jinx and Quindale, but Prime Witness nearing the 100 races clear from them, and the Hot Pot drawing right away from them. The Star Witness filly pricked her ears and she won in a canter.
Veroning was on the wall with this horse. He'd been very impressive leading up to that in the trials that last campaign, then jumped as a $2.60 favourite and a $2.45 favourite and was beaten on those occasions. Hadn't been seen since December. The money came for this galloper, jumped at 175 and won by 3 lengths, so without much effort at all. So I think this filly by Star Witness certainly has a lot of ability. This is a big step up though from a Northern race when you've got horses like Roman Fighter, Pirates Fortune's a good horse as well, Dark Rhythm, It's Dynamite, they're all very good gallopers, but with the rapport and the excitement about this horse, it should be winning this race.
Yeah, Star Witness, an excellent galloper himself, won the Blue Diamond, produces some really handy types, and I think that this is another one. Looking at that run last start as well, sat outside the leader and just did it quite comfortably. Interesting to see how it goes against a better grade of opposition, but it should be right in the mix. I also love how Jim Taylor takes his time with his horses. This horse didn't gallop until it was a 3-year-old, didn't have a race start until it was a 3-year-old. So, you know, patience paying off now. Looks like a very, very, very smart horse. We've also got number 5, It's Dynamite, which we haven't seen since the 3-year-old Magic Millions race, and I thought it ran a good race on that occasion, probably outclassed on that occasion. Sat, I think, 4th, about 1 out, 1 back, and grinded away to the line quite well behind Let It Slip, who we know is a classy filly.
The stable's got a pretty good opinion of this galloper as well. I think she's shown that she's got a class. The runs behind Viking Forest, Reed's Rocket, Castle Queen, Saturday form lines, and as you mentioned, the run behind Let It Slip was good at Pinjarra as well. First up, has placed before, barrier 7, 55.5 kilos. Small concern that, as I said, I think you'll want to be forward on this day, and she does normally go back, but I think she's a Saturday type galloper and a very good one at that as well. So I think her class can overcome those going back and running on strongly.
Yeah, Yeah, I think with a bit of freshness as well. No trial as well, which is interesting, but Lindsay Smith has mentioned with a few of his gallopers that have run first up, he may have done a little bit too much with them this time in, so he's bringing this one to the races without a trial. It should be nice and fresh for the 1,000-metre trip. I say we get into the selections, Adam.
I'm going to go with number 8, Prime Witness here. On top from 5, It's Dynamite. Number 4, Dark Rhythm. And 1, Roman Fighter.
Let's do the Quinella thing again, Adam. I've got the 5 on top. It's Dynamite from 8, Prime Witness, 3, Snapback, and 6, Kentucky Lass.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It's over 1,650 metres, an event for the 3-year-olds. 3 horses coming out of the field, leaving us with the 12 runners. And probably not the upper class of 3-year-olds, but a very competitive race on paper.
It's a few that we've seen on a few previous 3-year-old Wednesday maidens, Adam, but we'll go straight into the replay of number 8, Capricorn Dancer, running 3rd last start at Pinjarra behind Alora May.
Outside Zagurio, Capricorn Dancer, and further back behind them is maybe one more. Alora May led them, going past the 200-metre mark. Alora May in front, Song of War on the outside, the immediate challenger though. It's Alora May showing the persuader and she fights. Song of War keeps coming, and further back Capricorn Dancer, but Alora May will be too good. Alora May led from...
Good performance there by Capricorn Dancer. That was the first run for new trainer Justin Warwick. Lucy Warwick, of course, riding on that occasion. Now, in the past runs when this horse was trained by Elva Van Merica, this horse went forward and put in some nice runs. That way, you look at the form lines behind In This Life and also Rosewood Hill. They're strong enough form lines. Last start, there was a really good run behind Alora May. I've got a pretty good opinion of that galloper as well. Barrier 13, I'll be intrigued to see if they are forced to go back or if they do decide to take on the speed. But I think in this field, this horse can almost sit anywhere and finish in the top 3.
Why wouldn't you put a horse in Justin Warwick's stables at the moment? Seriously, how good are they going? And this horse here, I loved its run. You look at that replay, it went right back and it was wide and back at the turn, and it still had the audacity to run on, really put its head down as well and hit the line very, very strongly. Really liked the run, and good ride by Lucy as well on that occasion. Got the 3 as well, Trade Search, which I'm a big fan of. Comes out of that Sharukan Star race, and that was a super run and it was held up in the straight as well.
Yeah, it was. It was held up 2 lengths on that occasion, only went down by 2.5, so it should have been much closer. The trials were good. The first up run was a little bit disappointing, but this looks to be a galloper that's going to get better with distance. Of course, this is the full to Grand Crusade, which won $85,000 and also like that 14 to 1600 metre bracket. So I just left this horse out of my numbers, but I really did want to push it for that 3rd or 1st spot, 4th spot. It's not a big difference there, and I think it's one that's just going to continue to improve.
We've got number 15 as well, Adam Ruby's Legacy. They've had a few gear changes and tinker with the gear. Hopefully try to switch this gelding by Warchant on. Ben Patterson takes the ride.
Yeah, it laid out horribly last start, so the bubble cheeker goes on, just hoping to keep this galloper straight. You look at its record, 7 career starts and yet to place, and it probably doesn't make you want to back it, but this horse was backed in last start from 40s into 19s and then ended up finishing 5th and was really unlucky not to place on that occasion. With the way that conditions are going to be, I think this horse will roll to the front from barrier 3 and may be very hard to get past. So I think it's one that you have to put in your 4 at each way odds, but I am going to tip number 8, Capricorn Dancer, from 15, Ruby's Legacy, number 7, ONAPARA, and 6, Star Mover.
I've got the 3 on top, Adam. Trade Search from 7, ONAPARA. I think the mile will suit. 1, maybe one more, and 4, Beaucont.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It's another one over the 1,000 metres. And I'm really looking forward to some head-to-head battles in this race, especially Corvara taking on Jestajingle. I think it's possibly a race between 2. Both of these horses have a bit of speed, and I think they've got a little bit of class as well.
Absolutely. Very tough form race to line up as well. There's form from everywhere in this race, but we'll go straight into the replay of number 1, Sporting Image, winning last start, holding off So Fancy.
Home straight, then First Trade, Battle Talk coming down the middle. Further back, Little Punga at the 300 metre mark, and Sporting Image shifting ground, led the way from So Fancy. Annie's Luck under the whip. Battle Talk's coming down the outside from the back. It's Sporting Image and So Fancy going past the 100 together. So Fancy, Sporting Image on the outside. Sporting Image and So Fancy from Battle Talk and Sporting Image.
It's a good performance here by Sporting Image. We mentioned here on the box seat that this horse has been well supported its last few runs, and you know when the Neville Parnham stable is supported that the win isn't too far away. The drop back to 1,000 metres for mine isn't ideal. This horse, of course, has never won over the 1,000. Its wins has come over the 1,200, and I think that's just because it lacks that bit of early dash over the 1,000. Just gets caught out, and a 1,200 can roll to the front and dictate terms. But I've got a few concerns here. The bar plate's going on as well, so for mine, I am leaning towards some others.
Yeah, it'd be good if they can, if Shelby Hotel can get this galloper to the front. And again, the same thing though. There's a difference between leading over 1,000 and leading over 1,200, as you mentioned, Adam. They've got to go a lot faster over 1,200. Could get run off its legs. Be interesting to see how it goes. But I really liked the toughness last start, holding off So Fancy. It was headed by So Fancy, and Sporting Image came back for a tough win. Corvara, as you touched on, Adam, we remember her debut. She was stunning in that debut at Ascot. I think it was on a Wednesday as well, beating Détente by 2 lengths. Aaron Mitchell was riding that occasion. Senior rider Peter Knuckle gets on this time.
Yeah, we almost choked when $2 went up about this horse. And I know that sounds crazy for some punters, but it was just an absolute certainty, this horse, in a race like that as well. Won by 2 lengths and was basically untouched. Since then, beaten 1.5 lengths by Brisanto, 1 length by Sterling Estate as well. Barrier 4 here, 56.5 kilos. This is her biggest test, but I think she can win.
JESTAJINGLE as well, this mare, this filly out of Jestatune, who we know was such a good race filly as well, was disappointing last start over 1200. 2 starts ago over the 1000 was better. Back to the 1000, hopefully that suits.
Yeah, maybe just didn't get through the soft track, has now had 2 attempts on the soft ground and been unplaced on both, so I'm willing to forgive that run over the 1200 as well. Plus it was against a very handy bunch with Vega Magic and those sorts in the race, so there's no Vega Magic or anywhere near the type of ability in this race. So from barrier 12, should be able to go forward, sit outside Corvara, and then it'll be up to William Pint to try and lift this filly over the line. But I'm going to go with number 6 Corvara here, from number 8 JESTAJINGLE, 1 Sporting Image and 3 Sovereign Hall.
Yeah, W Pipe makes all the difference for me. Number 8 JESTAJINGLE on top from 6 Corvara, 2 Cardinal Hero and 1 Sporting Image.